I dashed into the medical center, my pulse hammering inside my chest like a frantic captive. The phone alert had interrupted my regular card session. Jason had been admitted to intensive care following a vehicle crash. His state was dire. He might not survive until morning. No parent should ever receive such news about their offspring, even if that offspring is 38. The hallway in the facility felt infinite as I raced to the critical care area, my practical footwear squealing on the shiny tiles. At 63, with a painful joint in my leg, I pushed forward with the frantic vigor only a parent's terror can summon. Jason Caldwell, I panted at the reception desk. I'm Margaret Caldwell, his mom. The youthful attendant glanced up, awareness dawning on her features. Mrs. Caldwell. Right. I'll summon Nurse Jenkins. She's managing your son's treatment. I braced myself on the ledge, attempting to calm my breaths. Since Henry's unexpected cardiac event took him 12 years back, Jason was my sole remaining family. My intelligent, compassionate son who phoned me faithfully each Sunday, who always remembered my special days, who had grown into the individual his dad and I had envisioned. Mrs. Caldwell. I pivoted to spot a lady around 40 coming near, her uniform tidy despite the fatigue showing in her weary gaze. Her tag read Heather Jenkins, lead critical care nurse. Yes, I'm Margaret Caldwell. Please, take me to my boy. She agreed with a nod. Yet rather than escorting me along the passage, she grasped my arm and steered me to a tiny nook apart from the counter. Her demeanor was composed, but laced with another element. Worry. Doubt. Mrs. Caldwell, your son is holding steady currently. The coming day is vital. Her words were soft, controlled. He suffered various organ damages, a serious head injury, and we're watching for cerebral inflammation. The collision? They mentioned his brakes malfunctioned. My tone broke. Nurse Jenkins scanned the area swiftly, then inclined nearer. That's the official account. Yes. Her inflection prompted me to focus more intently. After 4 decades teaching psychology, I'd honed a sharp intuition for unspoken messages in people's speech. What are you holding back? I inquired softly. She paused, then locked eyes with me. Your son's spouse arrived soon after we reached her. With a gentleman she presented as your son's co-worker and companion. Likely Scott, I responded. He's Jason's closest buddy. They collaborate at Westbrook. Friends since university. Nurse Jenkins dipped her head gradually. Mrs. Caldwell. After 2 decades in critical care, you build hunches about folks, about connections. She stopped, apparently pondering her following statement with care. Their conduct feels wrong. They aren't behaving as an anxious partner and pal ought to. Something's amiss in how they interact when they assume they're unobserved. A chill started creeping across my torso. What exactly? I can't pinpoint it precisely, but she glanced at her timepiece. They're with your son presently. He's steady enough for brief visits. Her hold on my limb firmed a bit. Prior to entering, I'd like you to do one thing for me, Mrs. Caldwell. What is it? Room 214 sits at the corridor's far end. The entrance is ajar slightly. She murmured almost inaudibly now. Please conceal yourself right outside and eavesdrop briefly before going in. If my suspicion is off, it's harmless. But if it's accurate, she faded out, her look serious. In typical situations, I might have brushed off such an odd plea. But her gaze held a blend of expert vigilance and genuine empathy, leading me to consent with a nod. Believe me, she added, letting go of my arm. I'll stay at the desk. Proceed at your pace. I proceeded along the passage, my mind whirling. What might be questionable in Vanessa and Scott's actions? Vanessa had joined our kin for half a decade. While I'd always detected a driven quality under her refined surface, Jason cherished her, and that sufficed for me. Nearing room 214, faint murmurs reached me from inside. Obeying Nurse Jenkins' guidance, I pressed against the wall beyond the cracked door, feeling a tad absurd, yet too alarmed to disregard her caution. Got to locate that storage device. Scott's tone, strained and pressing. If somebody spots the contents, it's over for us both. I already searched his study at home, Vanessa answered, her manner eerily matter-of-fact for a lady whose mate was gravely hurt. It's missing. He probably stashed it elsewhere or brought it to the office. Damn, Vanessa. That device holds it all. The phony supplier profiles, the transaction logs, everything, including our messages. Nobody will discover it. She interjected firmly. We'll enter his workspace tomorrow. As his spouse, they'll permit me to retrieve his belongings. And if he regains awareness. Scott's volume dropped further, making me strain to catch it. The physician mentioned, there's still a possibility. A silence. Then Vanessa's words, icy and distinct. Then we'll ensure he lacks the chance to speak, right? The break sabotage nearly succeeded. We simply must be more precise next round. My pulse almost halted. Break sabotage. Next round. The phrases reverberated in my thoughts as the awful reality solidified. This was meant to be seamless, Scott snarled. A mishap, inquiry closed. Now we're discussing safeguarding ourselves, Vanessa cut off. About the $2 million we've transferred already and the additional millions once I control Jason's finances. About living our lives openly rather than in secret. Isn't that your desire? Naturally it is. But then cease complaining and concentrate. After the firm disperses his policy and I offload the property, we'll possess plenty to vanish. Perhaps Brazil or Thailand. I steadied myself with a palm on the wall, sickened by the revelation. My son's partner and top companion weren't merely involved romantically. They had attempted to end his life, had come close, and intended to complete it if he awoke. The ground appeared to sway under me as I battled to suppress a cry of fury and dismay. My Jason, my lone offspring, deceived in the deepest manner by the pair he should have relied on utterly. At that instant, a resolve solidified within me. A nucleus of steel will forming amid the searing agony. They would fail. Not as long as I drew breath. I had mourned my spouse. I refused to mourn my son. I retreated from the entrance quietly. Years of parenting had schooled me in silent movement. My thoughts surged, assessing choices with a sharpness that astonished me amid the trauma. Confronting them immediately would yield no proof beyond my testimony against theirs. They'd refute all, depict me as an overwrought, suspicious elder. No, proof was essential. A light contact on my shoulder almost caused me to leap. Nurse Jenkins had materialized next to me, her face verifying she'd foreseen what I'd overhear. Come with me, she breathed, directing me around the bend to a compact meeting space. Inside, she shut the entrance and faced me. You caught their words? They attempted to end my son's life, I stated, the phrases bitter on my tongue. They meddled with his vehicle, and they're plotting to conclude it if he comes to. Heather affirmed with a somber nod. I grew wary upon their arrival, their postures, the whispers when they believed no eyes were on them. Then I caught snippets of talk. Sufficient to alarm me, she wavered. Mrs. Caldwell, have you alerted authorities? On what grounds? I questioned. My educator's logic already dissecting the issue from various perspectives. It'd be my account versus theirs. Vanessa is youthful, appealing, apparently loyal. She's portrayed the sorrowful partner flawlessly for the staff, correct? Until you scrutinize deeply, Heather concurred. I've witnessed authentic sorrow countless times here. Hers is staged. And Scott, the loyal comrade, by her side, but his gaze trails her movements. They position themselves a touch too near when unobserved. She shook her head. Minor details, but they accumulate. They referenced a storage device I mentioned, reasoning verbally. Something proving misconduct at their firm. Jason likely uncovered their scheme. And challenged them. No, I countered, knowing my boy. Jason would assemble all facts initially. He's systematic, always was. Even young, he'd organize his case before approaching me with a plea. An idea hit me. When did the incident occur? Roughly 8:30 the prior evening. Solo car mishap on Route 9. His vehicle veered off a bend, struck a tree. My thoughts jumped to Jason's final message from yesterday night. Mom, review your inbox. Forwarded some shots from the firm outing. Love you. Jason never emailed me images. He typically used our shared photo storage. It struck me as peculiar then, but I'd been occupied with my reading group and hadn't viewed it. I must verify something, I declared, extracting my device with unsteady fingers. I accessed my messages and located Jason's note from 8:03 p.m. yesterday. An attachment was present, but the header now appeared foreboding. For protection, he sensed it, I murmured, gazing at the unread note. He realized the peril. Heather peered over my arm. Is that the proof? Maybe. I refrained from opening it, abruptly mindful that my account might be reachable from home gadgets. Caution is key. They're hunting this device, but they could monitor his digital profiles too. Mrs. Caldwell, Heather spoke softly. I must inquire, what's your intention? As a healthcare worker, I'm required to flag suspected offenses, but lacking solid proof. I drew myself up, sensing my full age, yet oddly more robust than in years. I'm safeguarding my son. I'll unmask them, but time is needed, along with your aid. She examined my expression, gauging my firmness. What do you require? First, a visit with Jason. Then, reliable updates on his status, unfiltered by Vanessa. And alerts on their visits, their words, their actions. She assented. That's feasible. But Mrs. Caldwell, if they truly aim to eliminate him once and plan another try, they won't prevail, I affirmed calmly. Since they remain unaware of my knowledge, they'll perceive merely a mourning parent too overwhelmed to pose danger. It was a persona I could enact persuasively because portions were authentic. The sorrow and dread were genuine. I was merely directing them into resolve instead of hopelessness. Allow me to escort you to your son now, Heather offered. They've headed to the dining area. We have roughly 20 minutes. She guided me to room 214. Despite her alerts on Jason's state, no preparation sufficed for viewing my robust, lively son immobile amid tubes and cables, his features swollen and discolored nearly unrecognizably. The ventilator's steady rhythm and monitor beeps formed a robotic setting for the motionless figure. Oh, Jason, I breathed, advancing to his side and clasping his hand tenderly. The sole uninjured area. I'm present now. You're not isolated. He's under heavy medication, Heather clarified softly. The team induced unconsciousness to manage cerebral expansion. His signs are steady, but precarious. What are his odds? I queried, eyes fixed on my son's visage. Dr. Hawkins leads his care. He'll cover specifics with you. But she paused, then proceeded with honest frankness. The upcoming 2 days are pivotal. If inflammation decreases without issues, his outlook brightens notably. I acknowledged, processing this. Thus, their window is slim. If they intend to complete it, as Vanessa termed, it'd be imminent. We maintain safety measures, Heather reassured. And aware of possible deliberate injury, I can add extra oversight without alerting them. Thanks, I expressed, still gripping Jason's hand. Is Dr. Hawkins free? I wish to consult him soon. He'll tour shortly. I'll ensure a private chat. I agreed, then bent nearer to Jason. I'll resolve this, I vowed quietly. Just persist in battling. Don't depart, dear. Not this way. Not due to them. As I rose, a compact carry bag in the corner caught my eye. Jason's items from the scene. A strategy started shaping in my head. Heather, I uttered softly, upon Vanessa and Scott's return, I must perform. They can't guess my awareness. I'll act the anguished parent, centered solely on his healing, fully reliant on his affectionate spouse. And beneath that, I held her stare firmly. Beneath that, I'll collect every shred of proof to shield my son and ensure their accountability. The equipment's steady cadence persisted as I eased into the seat by Jason's bed, priming for the act of my existence. Vanessa and Scott assumed they faced a powerless, sorrow-laden senior. They lacked insight into their true adversary, a parent with zero to forfeit. Their voices reached me prior to entry. Vanessa's rehearsed worry and Scott's lower supportive rumble. Swiftly, I brushed away real tears and set my face to maternal anguish over the blazing anger below. The entrance opened. Vanessa stepped in ahead, her golden locks tied in an artfully tousled tail, disordered just enough for distress, yet complimentary. Her gaze expanded in feigned astonishment. Margaret, how long have you been here? She advanced, arms extended for a hug I compelled myself to receive. About 20 minutes, I answered, permitting a quiver in my words. The facility rang during my card play. I attempted contacting you as well, she stated, withdrawing to inspect my face with fabricated care. You dear soul. It must devastate you. Beyond her, Scott lingered at the threshold, his attractive features in a suitable grave concern. I'd known him nearly 15 years, hosted him often, regarded him kin. Now, with fresh insight, I pondered missing the scheming under his amiable front. Hello, Scott, I voiced, adding warmth. Thanks for supporting Vanessa. Naturally, he answered, advancing to rest a consoling palm on my shoulder. The palm that had interfered with my son's breaks. I resisted flinching. Jason's my top mate. I still struggle to accept this. Authorities indicated brake malfunction. Vanessa clarified, shifting to the bed's far side, delicately holding his hand in a seemingly tender motion. Such an odd occurrence. His cherished Audi, I whispered, observing their expressions keenly. He adored that vehicle. The key is his survival, Scott stated promptly. Too promptly, I assented, redirecting to Jason. The attendant, Jenkins, I recall, mentioned induced unconsciousness for cerebral control. Dr. Hawkins notes it's routine, Vanessa responded, her speech even. Not the shaky tone of a terrified mate, but the managed delivery of fact recitation. They'll start reviving him once inflammation lessens. If it lessens, she appended with precise vocal hitch. He's resilient, I declared, truly caressing Jason's limb. He's forever a battler. Margaret, Vanessa shifted to a softer, closer manner. You seem drained. Let Scott transport you home. Rest, cleanse, perhaps prepare a case if desiring hospital proximity. I'll stay with Jason. Alerts sounded internally. They sought my absence. Distant from Jason, from the facility where I might catch more, from potential clues. How considerate, dear, I responded, delving into my bag for a wipe. But leaving him now is impossible, not before doctor consultation. I spotted irritation flash on her flawless face before concealment. Certainly, we'll all linger then. For the ensuing 40 minutes, we upheld a painful pretense of kin unity by Jason's bed. I posed fitting queries on the mishap, attending as they relayed their crafted tale. Jason laboring late, commuting weary, the fatal break issue on a familiar curve. I nodded empathetically when Vanessa depicted his disorganized study. He was likely on vital tasks, she noted, eyes flicking to Scott momentarily. All through, I sustained my role. The mildly weak parent, sometimes muddled by health terms, wholly reliant on her son's mate, appreciative of his comrades' backing. I even displayed ingesting my pressure pills, bolstering their view of my bodily weakness. When Dr. William Hawkins arrived, relief surged at recognizing him. Bill had collaborated at the institution before shifting to practice, and we'd kept cordial ties. Margaret, he expressed, true worry in his tone as he gripped my hand. I'm deeply sorry for Jason. Bill, I answered, letting authentic feeling tint my words. Please share all. He surveyed the space, noting Vanessa and Scott, then centered on me. Allow me to brief everyone on Jason's status, he commenced expertly. He detailed the harms clinically, several rib breaks, a pierced lung, internal hemorrhage fixed surgically, and the head trauma requiring induced unconsciousness. When will he awaken? Vanessa inquired, her hand still mimicking affection on Jason's limb. It hinges on inflammation's response, Dr. Hawkins answered. We're tracking cranial pressure meticulously. Optimal outcome, sedation reduction could start in 2 to 3 days. I noted the discreet eye exchange between Vanessa and Scott, an opening for them. And direst outcome, I probed, redirecting focus. Bill's face gentled. Margaret, let's emphasize positive signs now. Jason's indicators are steady, repairs hold, and he gets top treatment. I'd prefer private discussion, if possible, I stated, standing unsteadily on purpose. Regarding Jason's health background, items he might not have disclosed to Vanessa. Certainly, he consented promptly. The meeting space works. I ought to join, Vanessa inserted. A sharpness piercing her worried mask. As his mate, dear, it's merely past health details, I soothed. Irrelevant to current care, doubtless, but sharing eases me. Parental gut, I added with modest grin. You understand our frets. Vanessa yielded grudgingly, unable to protest without seeming irrational. Naturally, Margaret, no rush. In the secluded space, Dr. Hawkins's expert manner turned personal worry. Margaret, how are you truly managing? This must crush you. I stared into his eyes. Bill, did Nurse Jenkins discuss her notes with you? His face affirmed my guess. She relayed concerns an hour prior about Jason's mate and friend, and a dialogue she thinks you caught. It wasn't mishap, I declared bluntly. They altered his car. They're romantically linked and pilfering from their firm. Jason uncovered it, and they sought his death. To his merit, Bill didn't reject my assertion or imply grief clouded me. Rather, he queried, proof? Not presently, but Jason possibly forwarded some. I detailed the unread message and their hunt for an incriminating device. Margaret, if accurate, this demands police, and I'll approach them, I promised. With firm proof now, it'd be my statement against theirs, and they've built their narrative shrewdly. He regarded me pensively. What do you seek from me? Jason's safeguard. They spoke of completing if he awakens. He must remain secure while I amass proof. Bill nodded gradually. I can organize constant watch, limit visits medically, and oversee treatment alterations personally, he paused. But Margaret, proceed cautiously. If desperate for one murder attempt, I understand, I responded darkly. But they deem me harmless, Bill. A morning senior, too upset for doubt, I inclined forward. And that's the cover I require to topple them. Returning to Jason's room, I lifted my posture and resumed character, the anxious parent, fixated on recovery, blind to the serpents nearby. My life's paramount act had commenced. The following dawn saw me napping awkwardly in the lounger by Jason's bed, having demanded overnight stay despite Vanessa's persistent suggestions for weary Margaret to rest properly. I'd feigned slumber much of the night, but actually observed, listened, schemed. Vanessa departed around 11 p.m. with Scott providing transport, both displaying hesitation for my sake. Notify me instantly if shifts occur, she directed the evening attendant with apt anxious command. Alone with my son, I'd murmured encouragements for hours, wishing his medicated mind registered. I'll mend this, Jason. Just endure. Now, as dawn glow seeped through shades, I checked time. 6:15 a.m. Staff switch imminent, Heather returning. Action required haste. I withdrew my phone and set up a fresh message profile with arbitrary handle, then relayed Jason's protection note without viewing attachment. If Vanessa accessed Jason's systems, viewing risked alert. Next, I erased the relay and cleared deletions. A gentle tap signaled Heather's entry. She came in silently, assessing Jason's indicators efficiently before addressing me. You stayed, she noted, volume low. Leaving him was impossible, I answered truthfully. She understood with a nod. Dr. Hawkins enacted the extra watch we outlined. Jason won't lack supervision, and we've narrowed medication handlers. Thanks, I breathed, eyeing my comatose son. Overnight developments? Cranial pressure held firm, she updated. Favorable indicator. Dr. Hawkins will evaluate fully during early rounds. She wavered, then appended, Mrs. Caldwell, my 20-minute pause is at 7:30. If you'd like cafeteria coffee, I could accompany. I grasped her intent instantly. Opportunity for private discussion in open space sans interruption from Vanessa or Scott. Sounds delightful, I responded. Caffeine would help. At 7:30 sharp, after securing Jason with trusted colleague, I headed to dining. Heather met at corner spot, placing 2 hot coffees. Gratitude, I expressed, taking the mug. For all. She nodded, face earnest. I consulted night team. Vanessa phoned twice for Jason's updates. Seems fittingly worried, I remarked. Yes, but she queried specifically on awakening signs. Each instance, Heather mixed her drink reflectively. Not usual primary family focus. They inquire on indicators, discomfort, general steadiness. She's concerned he'll revive and reveal, I stated darkly. I'd interpret similarly. She bent forward. Mrs. Caldwell, examined Jason's send yet? Not yet. Relayed to safe profile. Need seclusion and machine for proper review. Heather pondered. Facility offers family hub with machines. Often vacant early. Ideal, I declared, thankful for this partner. But one additional request. If Vanessa or Scott shows while absent, I'll alert instantly, she vowed. Hub is ground level, room 104. This grants machine access. She passed a guest card. 20 minutes on, I sat solo in compact space. Accessing new profile with shaky digits, I launched Jason's note. The header, for protection, seemed more threatening now. Mom, if this reaches you, my gut was correct. Firm finances seem off, and I've probed further. Attached holds my findings. Unsure of culprits, but figures reveal. Funds diverted via bogus supplier profiles for 18 months minimum. I've duplicated multiple ways since trust is uncertain. Guard this. I'll detail all Sunday at meal. Love, Jason. My chest tightened. He'd aimed to disclose during our weekly gathering, now impossible. I cleared tears and unpacked the compressed file. Inside lay precise assembly of fiscal logs, internal communications, and Jason's notations. He'd exposed elaborate plot funneling cash to phantom firms. Materials were detailed, needing fiscal skill for full grasp. Then something halted my breath. Captures from firm security. Jason evidently tapped late entry records. Entries displayed Vanessa and Scott entering post hours, often close-timed when Jason traveled. But the clincher was sound clip-tagged Office Talk P3. With unsteady hands, I connected provided earpieces and started. Nobody doubts, Vanessa's voice rang clear. Jason's occupied with Anderson file, missing gaps. We must speed schedule, Scott answered. Auditors arrive next month. Post-final shift, ready to vanish. What of Jason? Vanessa queried, disturbingly nonchalant. What of him? Scott's tone firmed. You claimed handling that. A light chuckle. Relax. Once set, I'll seek separation. Agreement voids on infidelity. I've seeded hints with coworkers on his distance, late hours with aid. Clever one, Scott whispered, followed by evident embrace sounds. Patience for weeks more. Vanessa proceeded, maintain routine. He suspects zilch. But Jason did suspect, uncovering not solely fiscal crime, but probably their liaison. When he faced them, or they detected his probe, scheme shifted from split to elimination. I noted clip date 3 weeks prior. Plot hastened on his investigation, unaware he'd emailed me. I swiftly duplicated files to my research cloud before exiting. Exiting hub, phone vibrated with Heather's message. They're present, both. Inhaling deeply, I steadied and returned to critical care. The burden of discovery heavy, yet fortifying my will. Proof secured. Now strategy to deploy SANS endangering Jason or me. Back in Jason's room, Vanessa sat by bed, clasping his hand in rehearsed worry while Scott lingered at window, browsing phone. Both lifted gazes on entry, shifting to matched sympathy masks. Margaret, Vanessa stated, standing for hug. You appear worn. Slept in that dreadful seat? Sufficiently, I answered, tapping her limb before Jason sighed. Morning shifts? Dr. Hawkins visited, Scott provided. Brain pressure studying. Positive, evidently. I assented, examining son's face for alterations. Bruises bolder in dawn glow, edging yellow. Heart pained, but I held external poise. Met him in dining too. I fibbed fluidly. He's guardedly hopeful. Vanessa's gaze narrowed faintly. Should have summoned if Dr. Chat. Brief run-in, I clarified, forming regretful smile. Avoided early bother. You require rest too, dear. Consider it, but I desire every update, she pressed, steel under worry. His mate, ultimately. Certainly, I concurred gently. Thought unclear. Age scatters mind, you know. I observed their subtle eye swap. Ease perhaps at my presumed mental feebleness. Margaret, Scott advanced. We discussed managing Jason's matters during incapacity. Work issues, payments, such. Vanessa handles that, surely, I responded, deliberately dense. She holds authority, yes? Another swap. For certain areas, Vanessa stated cautiously, but specific profiles and documents Jason alone accesses. Mainly job-linked. Coworkers must grieve, I observed, tracking responses. Jason praised Westbrook crew highly. All stunned, Scott affirmed smoothly. Office dispatched blooms. He pointed elaborate display unnoticed prior. Kind. I neared for card check. Heal soon, Jason. Westbrook kin thinks of you. He viewed Westbrook as kin. Margaret, Vanessa shifted to practical tone. Need entry to Jason's study. Vital firm papers he handled. Issue is unique lock system I lack code for. Oh. I blinked, simulating bewilderment. Odd setup. Routine for leaders with sensitive data, Scott inserted. Now auditors need docs. Jason unable to aid, I assented slowly, as digesting. Well, I lack codes too. Jason guards such meticulously. Frustration crossed Vanessa's features before mask. Perhaps he shared for crises. Sorry, dear, I apologized. Jason separated work rigidly. You know his way. Divides all. Bedside monitor signaled, pulling focus. Heather entered promptly, reviewing displays efficiently. Minor pressure shift, she clarified. Not alarming, but I'd adjust meds a tad, she addressed us. Mind exiting 15 minutes for this and sheet change with aid. Certainly, Vanessa assented reluctantly. We'll fetch coffee. Margaret join? Idea of facing them in normalcy, knowing deeds and plans, churned my gut. But charade needed extension. Actually, I stated, hand back with wince. I'll stroll. Seat wrecked my spine. Text on return, Heather vowed as we exited. In passage, I feigned slow elevator walk, dismissing their tepid escort offers. Once cafeteria bound, I rerouted to Dr. Hawkins' space. Relief as Bill was present, studying records. He rose surprised on my tap at open entrance. Margaret, he stated swiftly. Jason okay? No shift, I reassured, entering and sealing door. But I uncovered something, Bill. Proof of their actions and motive for son's attack. His face sobered as he motioned sit. Share. I detailed files Jason sent, fiscal proofs of theft, entry logs of Vanessa and Scott's night meets, and, crucially, sound of plan discussion. Firm fraud clear, he concurred. Linking to crash tougher. They seek device desperately. I recalled thereafter physical proof Jason held. Unaware he emailed copies. Bill weighed thoughtfully. Margaret, with this, police now. Not yet, I urged. Need direct tie to car interference. Else, they claim fraud and liaison separate from mishap. Your plan? They probe Jason's study. He has isolated security Vanessa can't breach. There they think proof hides. I bent forward. Must enter before them. Risky. Margaret. Desperate for murder once, I know, I cut in. But careful. They see harmless senior trusting fully. My voice steeled. My edge. Bill regarded pensively. Need supporters, Margaret. Folks shielding you and Jason during collection. I have you, Heather, I noted. More required, he pressed. Legal power. He paused, deciding. Friend in force, Detective Mark Sullivan. Long acquaintance. Discreet, detailed, reliable. I pondered carefully. Unofficial probe? If Vanessa or Scott sense law, Mark can hush till ready, Bill promised. No formal, no outfits, no alerts. Extra backing tempted. Determined, I knew solo risk versus duo killers. Fine, I consented. But meet first. Explain personally. I'll arrange today. Bill vowed. Meanwhile, sustain act. No suspicion hint. I assented, rising. Must return before wonder. Bill halted with soft arm touch. Margaret, cautious. Your actions brave, capable, but they've proved murder willing. They targeted my son, Bill, I answered steady despite turmoil. Not brave. Merely parent guarding child since birth. Returning to critical care, fresh purpose bolstered will. No longer solo. With Bill, Heather, soon detective, we'd forge unbreakable case on Vanessa and Scott. And woe betide them then. Detective Mark Sullivan defied TV cop tropes. No wrinkled coat or jaded sarcasm. The man in Bill Hawkins' space that afternoon was neat, properly attired, with quiet focus I knew from assessing graduates, sign of sharp, dissecting intellect. Mrs. Caldwell, he stated, grip solid yet not dominant. Dr. Hawkins outlined your issues preliminarily. Deeply sorry for son's plight. Thanks, detective, I answered, taking proffered seat. Grateful for hearing, especially unusually. Bill and I span 2 decades, he noted plainly. If he deems worthy, suffices for my ear. Next half hour, I systematically laid discoveries, overheard Vanessa Scott talk, Jason's message contents, behavior notes post-crash. Detective Sullivan jotted sparingly, focusing intently, posing exact clarifications occasionally. View son's files? He requested on finish. I fetched tablet, displaying documents, observing his efficient scan. Face neutral, but eyes tensed on sound clip. Solid corporate crime proof, he affirmed, mirroring Bill. Recording sets liaison and initial defraud via split. But not murder try, I completed. Not definitively, no. He returned tablet. Motive, chance present, but no direct link to vehicle metal, hence need Jason's study access, I clarified. They're frantic for incriminating item there. Detective Sullivan weighed meticulously. Mrs. Caldwell, grasp your drive, but proposal hazardous. They've shown extreme resort willing. I recognize risk, I admitted, but they dismiss me as threat. To them, distraught parent on recovery sole. Granting advantage, he allowed. But solo house entry? Who mentioned solo? I interjected, scheme forming verbally. Vanessa urges house stay over condo commutes. I've declined, but accepting, you'd house access, he concluded reflectively. But study separate security, noted. Yes, but Jason favored meaningful digits for codes, dates, locations, personal significance. I smiled faintly. Psychology educator 40 years, detective. Grasp code selection. He eyed me momentarily, then assented. All right, my suggestion. Accept Vanessa's house invite. There, attempt study entry, but he raised palm as I started. You'll wear recorder, plain officers nearby for intervention if needed. Reasonable balance for evidence pursuit and safety. Agreed, I stated. Surveillance ready when? Tomorrow, he answered. Meanwhile, I'll launch quiet background on suspects, finances, talks, recent buys tied to car tamper. They'll visit Jason evening, I informed. Except then. Note collect from condo morning, arrive afternoon. Ideal, Sullivan assented. Gives prep time. Meet your condo 10 a.m. tomorrow for recorder setup and plan review. As session ended, Bill Hawkins re-entered, having granted privacy. Outcome? He queried, glancing between. Plan set, Detective Sullivan answered. Risky but safeguarded. Margaret staying son's house, Bill deduced, face worried. Briefly, I reassured. Enough for study access and hidden desperation. Bill seemed unconvinced, but assented reluctantly. Jason's meantime security? If they sense probe, I've coordinated facility guard, Sullivan stated. Officer on critical floor, supposedly unrelated case. He'll monitor room sans notice. His prep thoroughness comforted. Detective Sullivan evidently took Jason threat gravely, despite unofficial start. Thanks both, I expressed truly, for crediting, aiding. I grasp initial sound. Emotional parent weaving plots for tragic mishap. You're far from frantic, Margaret, Bill noted kindly. Evidence stands alone. Must return Jason, I stated, time check. Vanessa, Scott usually post-meal around 7 p.m. Want presence. Recall, Detective Sullivan warned departing. Sustain as is. Worried parent, not else. No suspicion cause. Played that lifelong, detective, I answered grim smile. Harmless senior unseen as threat. World's strongest mask. Returning critical care, I mentally practiced Vanessa invite acceptance. Shown hesitation, reluctant yield, grateful kindness receipt. Each word, expression calibrated for cover maintenance while plan advance. Beyond Jason's room, I halted, mustering strength. Undertaking weight pressed. Not mere physical peril, but emotional cost of ongoing interaction with son's would-be killers, who might succeed absent halt. I won't permit further harm, I breathed, viewing through glass at Jason's still shape. Whatever necessary. Then I lifted posture, set face to parental worry-edged fatigue, entered for vigil and deceit continuance. Vanessa's response on my final house stay acceptance was false sincerity pinnacle. Relief brief in eyes, doubtless at monitoring prospect before compassionate replace. So pleased, Margaret, she stated, hand squeeze. Alone unfit now, guest space comfy. Plus hospital nearer. Very thoughtful, dear, I answered, apt gratitude in tone. Morning condo pack few items. Scott can transport, she proposed instantly. No bother him, I countered swift, alarmed solo with Scott. Neighbor Elaine offered aid. She'll deliver me tomorrow afternoon. Vanessa assented, though eyes narrowed faint at plan tweak. Well, I'll prep all. Next dawn, Detective Sullivan reached condo exact 10 a.m. with seeming regular case. Sleepless nights spent reviewing Jason's security habits, anticipating codes. Good morning, Mrs. Caldwell. Sullivan greeted professionally, eyes true concern. Still sure this path? Utterly, I led to lounge. Preliminary probe findings? Several notable, he confirmed, opening case on table. Scott Palmer Auto Store by 3 days pre-Sun's crash. Securing footage for purchase confirm. And Vanessa, unusual cash pulls past 2 months. Small sums, near $50,000 total. He extracted seeming regular chain pendant. Your recorder. Oval holds quality mic transmitting to our vehicle receiver. I inspected silver floral oval. Elegant, fitting age, utterly unnoticeable. Perfect. Range about 300 feet, will stay house near. He showed activation via subtle oval side press. Inside, priority Jason's study. Access sans suspicion, record findings. Photos, documents, any car tamper link. I assented, mentally house layout, expansive colonial, study ground rear. Vanessa likely confines me upstairs guest or shared spaces. Avoid needless risks, Sullivan warned. If study access arouses doubt, alternate way. Understood. I fastened pendant, sensing weight as safeguard and duty. Jason's status? Spoke Dr. Hawkins morning. Cranial pressure stabilizes on. Considering sedation cut tomorrow if progress. News medically good, urged mission. Jason awakening would hasten Vanessa, Scott timeline. Can't risk revelation. Detective Sullivan read thoughts. Boosted room security. Access via checks, meds to senior only. Thanks, I relieved. For seriousness, protection. Mrs. Caldwell, he solemn. Attempted murder always grave, initial evidence notwithstanding. By 2 p.m., female detective as neighbor Elaine drove me to Jason Vanessa house. Sullivan team set neighborhood watch, plain utility van in transmitter range. Recall, Detective Lauren Mitchell reminded nearing house. Continuous monitor. If threatened, phrase I should contact bridge mate, we enter promptly. Careful, I vowed a circular drive pull-in of Colonial Jason Proud bought 3 years back. Lovely property. 5 beds, landscaped yards, success display now betrayal tainted. Vanessa opened pre-bell, smile perfect. Margaret, punctual, this Elaine. Detective Mitchell roll flawless, chatty neighbor concern carrying case inside. Brief pleasantries, she left with tomorrow check promise, me solo with Vanessa in marble entry. Let me guide to guest, Vanessa said, up curved stairs. Placed you blue room. Comfiest bed, garden view lovely. Blue guest indeed beautiful, calm hues, fine fabrics, artful pieces. Also, I noted, farthest master, over kitchen, downstairs office moves audible. Lovely, I sincere, bag on bed. Such beautiful home, Vanessa. Thanks, she answered. Duvet smooth invisible crease. Jason labored hard afford. We both. She time check. Lunch ready downstairs if hungry. After, perhaps joint Jason visit. Wonderful, I agreed, noting schedule set keeping me beside, though admit emotional drain tires. Might rest afternoon. Naturally, she practiced sympathy. Join lunch, nap while I errands. Wake for hospital. Opportunity hoped, house solo time. Sounds ideal, dear. Overcrafted salads neither appetite, I light talk, steering from crash or work. Instead house, area. Vanessa kin, topic self-focus over my intent query. Gone 2 hours about, she posts lunch, purse keys gather. Home yourself, but rest please. You appear drained, Margaret. I true admitted, genuine where show. Nap heavenly. As car driveway vanished, I throat pendant touch. She's away, I quiet to Mike, knowing Sullivan team hears. Attempt Jason's study now. I swift house through to back passage Jason office. Door locked expected, keypad beside. I examined keypad thoughtfully, pondering Jason code choice. Old residence, birth dates. None secure enough sensitive docs. Then recalled Jason key password's particular date. February 17th, 1984. Day father took first ball game, months pre-cardiac claim Henry. Perfect day, Jason cherished father memory. Steady fingers, I entered 02171984. Light green, lock soft, click release. I'm inside, I whispered to pendant as door opened. Code first ball game date with father. I entered organized space mirroring son's orderly nature. Dark shelves one wall, finance texts, references. Desk substantial cherry, father's once, garden window face. All precise, dual screens to credenza color files. They seek fraud liaison proof, I murmured, room scan. But Jason found specific, direct implicate theft. Aita computer first, password expected. Same door code failed. Different, complex likely. 2 more significant date tries, I quit. Avoid security trigger. Instead physical files. Credenza unlocked, labeled folders. Taxes, assets, home costs. Nothing suspect immediate, though Vanessa personal finance absent notable. Where hide vital, Jason? I soft asked, son thinking. Not obvious cabinets, main machine, secure accessible, disguised logical. Eyes on bookshelf leather volumes, finance annuals, reports. Among, different bind, photo book fishing trip 2019. Jason hated fishing, despite father interest tries. I shelf pulled, heart race open. Instead photos, sleeves hold USBs, SDs, small recorder. Each date cryptic label. Found something, Ita Sullivan. Storage's fake photo book hid. This they seek. I careful removed USB tagged WB Fest last month date, likely Westbrook financial summary. Backdesk, I content view search. Quick check revealed laptop dock partial monitor stand hide, front USB port. Deep breath I inserted. No extra password for contents as hoped. Jason wanted accessible, even absent. Drive hundreds files folders, finance logs, email chains, sound clips, promising evidence folder. I evidence first, comprehensive Jason summary doc. Fraud found 3 months back, quiet evidence gather since. Doc detailed Vanessa Scott fake supplier create, fiction approve, offshore control divert. But final part chilled blood. Personal tie. Here Jason's suspicion Vanessa document, include hidden camera office photos. Images Vanessa night desk search, doc photo, computer access thought Jason travel. Most damning recorder transcript from album. Vanessa Scott talks recorded office during Jason's supposed trips. Discuss fraud, relation, future explicit. Unaware recording, I whispered, comprehension flood. Suspicion set up surveillance own office. I scrolled more, final entry day pre-crash. Jason wrote, faced V tonight discrepancies. Not full reveal. Reaction confirm. Call Reynolds tomorrow report. Audio video secondary location insurance. Detective Sullivan, I urgent dependent. Jason faced Vanessa night pre-crash, planned fraud report Reynolds next. Must trigger car sabotage decision. I quick audio folder check, date time files. 3 days, pre-crash click. Scott voice clear. Contingencies consider. If Jason dots connect, he hasn't, Vanessa interrupt. Late Anderson oblivious. But if ready. Beach house shell paid. Untraceable. Brazil 24 hours. You overworry, Vanessa answer. All placed. 2 transfers, life set. Nerve few weeks. I shut, opened another. Evening pre-crash. Likely confrontation Jason notes. What imply? Vanessa tense defensive. Not implied Jason calm. Ask why signature approval non-existent vendors. Ridiculous. Sign many daily accounting? Can't every verify. These vendors over $2 million year, services none describe. Pause, then you track signatures. Spy me? Not spy. Money follow. My role. Absurd. Bed going. Apologize ready, find me. Recording end. I swift entire USB to connected phone transfer. While progress, album recorder examine. Recent clips include contingency plan crash morning. Play press, hands slight tremble. He knows, Scott urgent low. Offshore questions. Time insurance, Vanessa chill detach. Brake line disgust? Accident look, no questions, especially mountain roads work. Jesus, Vanessa, not wood don't soft now, Scott. $2 million me. Worth risk? Heart rib pound as implication sink. Not fraud betrayal evidence. Premeditated murder attempt own voices. Transfer complete as sound blood freeze. Distant driveway engine. Vanessa early return. She's returned. I whisper urgent pendant. Need time more. Conclusive here. I quick phone disconnect, USB leave place. One crucial folder check want. Shaky hands, email chains open Scott. Someone VR messages, brake tampered details high speed fail. Front door open sound action galvanize. Quick email phone snaps, all original return, USB remove, album replace. Album exact shelf spot. Margaret? Vanessa foyer call. Awake? I office slip, quiet door close, lock re-engage ensure. Heart pound, quick hall powder room, toilet flush, sink run alibi. Here, I back call, voice steady despite. Freshening. Thought longer gone. Errands shorter expected, she as bathroom emerge. Rest get? About lie down, I smile force. But now back, perhaps Jason visit instead. Anxious change see. Of course, she agree, though gaze brief haul toward Jason office door. Purse grab just. Foyer follow, I pendant discreet touch. Mission done, I whisper. All need have. Hospital drive Vanessa psychological control exercise. Beside woman calm son murder discuss. Still plan finish if need. Require every acting ounce. Gentle innocuous talk stream maintain weather. Garden, card group, while pocket evidence burn. Dr. Hawkins rang while rest. Vanessa mention hospital near. Plan sedation reduced tomorrow morning if indicators overnight stable. Wonderful news. I infuse genuine relief. Careful reaction observe. Yes, she agree, steering knuckles slight white. Though doctor caution traumatic brain recovery unpredictable. Memory lapse common, confusion, disorient. Already groundwork lay, I realize, prepare why Jason not remember or recollections dismiss unreliable. Sure best care receive, I mild reply. And their help recovery process. Hospital enter, I spot Detective Sullivan visitor desk near, civilian dress, clipboard pretend review. Eyes brief meet. Imperceptible nod, confirm house transmit evidence receive. Critical care quieter usual, fewer corridor staff. Jason room approach, unfamiliar guard nearby note, doubtless Sullivan's protect place. Mrs. Caldwell, Heather professional greet enter. Dr. Hawkins request inform. Stop by 20 minutes about tomorrow plan. Thanks, Nurse Jenkins, Vanessa practice polite reply. I Jason bedside immediate move, face study change signs. Bruises somewhat fade, yellow-green edge shift, color slight better. Most promise, breathe in natural seam, ventilator less rely. He appears improved, I observe, hand gentle squeeze. Yes, treatment respond well, Heather confirm. Latest scans significant swelling reduce. Vanessa phone message chime. Check, expression momentary tighten before compose. Scott joined shortly, she announce. Insurance adjusters meet Jason Carr. Thoughtful, I remark, text real wonder. Scott discover office access? Timeline accelerate? 20 minutes tense chit-chat later, Scott doorway appear. Me polite nod before Vanessa meaningful glance. Margaret, good see, he say, approach cheek kiss, gesture now skin crawl. House first afternoon how? Comfortable hope. Very I assure. Mostly rested. Exhausting days been. Of course, he sympathetic agree. Dr. Hawkins moments later arrive, room deliberate energy bring. Good afternoon all. Just Jason latest tests review, pleased report track sedation reduce early tomorrow morning. What mean exactly? Vanessa ask, voice modulate appropriate concern. Gradually medication decrease, coma medical keep, Phil explain. Process slow. 24-48 hours could take before consciousness signs see. And wake, Scott interject. Expect what? Emerge patient's confusion experience, disorient, often temporary memory gaps. Bill reply. Close watch them. Some trauma pre-memories never fully recover. Brain protect mechanism. I see Vanessa Scott's subtle glance exchange. Relief disguise poor as concern. Most important, Bill continue. Direct me look. Familiar support people around when consciousness regain begin. Family ground help. Self-sense reestablish. I'll hear, I firm say. Every step. We all, Vanessa quick add. Whatever needs. Soft door knock interrupt. Detective Sullivan step. Badge belt visible now. Excuse, Dr. Hawkins, he professional say. Word may? Bill nod. Brief outside step Sullivan. Return. Room atmosphere subtle shift. Mrs. Caldwell, Sullivan formal address me. Pretense maintains strangers. I'm Detective Sullivan, Boston PD. Need ask few questions, son accident if mine not. Of course, I agree, mild confusion feign. Actually, he continue. Turn face Vanessa Scott. Need speak all separate possible. Something wrong, detective? Vanessa ask, composure impressive despite shoulder tension sudden. Just accident report inconsistencies follow up. Sullivan casual reply. Standard procedure. Mrs. Caldwell, mind come first? Consultation room hall use. I rose, part play choreograph scenario. Certainly, detective. Long take? Not all. Routine questions few. Leave room, I notice Heather Jason for adjust. Position between him Vanessa. Realize protection another layer while Sullivan plan motion set. Consultation room, Sullivan pretense drop immediate. Evidence you gather compelling, Mrs. Caldwell. Particularly audio recordings break tamper plan. Enough arrests now make. Good, I say, word all pent fury determination contain. Next happens what? Additional officers arrange ICU. When return question Vanessa Scott, they watch suspicious reactions any. If either flee attempt or Jason approach threaten manner, intervene immediate. And if not, composure maintain, then questioning continue till colleagues search warrant son house secure. Once that, formal arrest place. He study professional concern. Prepared what comes next? Likely intense quick become. Detective Sullivan, I study reply. Spent 3 days pretend not know people try murder son. More than ready end this. He nod, resolve respect. One last, return when, ask them direct break tamper financial fraud about. Reactions unpredictable may. Stay behind me times all. Understood, I agree. Re-enter Jason room. Vanessa Scott close stand window near. Hushed tones speak stop abrupt appearance are. Bill Hawkins remain, position near Jason bed alongside Heather. Mr. Palmer, Mrs. Caldwell, Sullivan formal say. Patience think. Before individual questions continue, clarify something Mr. Caldwell vehicle about. Of course, Scott reply, casual tone belied jaw tension visible. Forensic team determine break line Mr. Caldwell car deliberate compromise, Sullivan blunt state. Reactions watch. Not accident. Attempted murder. Silence follow deafening. Vanessa recover first, expression shock disbelief shift practice precision. Impossible that. Who hurt Jason want? Exactly investigate we, Sullivan even reply. Along $2 million embezzle Westbrook Pharmaceuticals fake vendor accounts past 18 months, colored drain Scott face. Don't know talk what you think you do, Mr. Palmer, Sullivan counter, pocket phone remove. Fact, audio recording like you both listen. Without response wait, play damning recording I Jason office discover. Vanessa Scott tamper break discuss, voices fill suddenly silent room. Vanessa compose facade perfect crack. Genuine panic eyes flash. That's manipulate edit. That's not what we multiple recordings, Mrs. Caldwell, Sullivan calm interrupt. Along email correspondence break tamper technical details discuss and comprehensive record financial fraud you Mr. Palmer conduct Westbrook. Scott survival instincts kick. Door lunge only find block Sullivan officer silent enter during confrontation. Vanessa freeze remain, calculate mind visible race escape route not exist. Scott Palmer, Vanessa Caldwell, Sullivan formal announce. Both under arrest attempted murder, conspiracy, grand larceny. Right remain silent have. As Sullivan continue Miranda rights recite, I Jason bedside move, position protective between him people try kill. Watch handcuffs place Vanessa's slender wrists, feel no satisfaction, only profound relief son finally safe justice serve. Over it I whisper Jason, hand tight hold. Can't hurt anymore. Just wake need. 5 days pass before Jason eyes open. 5 days hopeful wait drive Hawkins gradual sedation reduce. 5 days bedside sit, allowed read favorite books, play classical music childhood love, gentle recount youth happy memories. 5 days watch consciousness flicker any, sign son return me. Vanessa Scott arrest local papers headlines make. Pharma execs fraud scheme attempted murder charge. Westbrook stock temporary plummet before stabilize company rush investors assure fraud isolate specific individuals now remove. Jason colleague shock support equal express. Many cards flowers send now fill hospital room. Detective Sullivan daily visit, case progress update. Evidence I discover, combines subsequent police search house Scott apartment material, airtight case create. Not getting bail, he fifth morning inform, court head before stop. Prosecutor judge convince flight risks document Brazil flee plans Shell Beach house purchase. Said anything? I ask, book read Jason from up look. Try explain. Scott talking, Sullivan confirm. Deal cut try blame most Vanessa place. Claim she mastermind fraud murder attempt. Head shake disgusted. She's smarter. Word not accept lawyer, but matter not. Recordings speak themselves, evidence secure. Pressed, my academic mind procedure details concern still. Can't claim obtain illegal. Everything clean, he assure. Search warrant before recordings house seize, Jason documentation establish provenance. He create those recordings legal own home office. Case solid, Mrs. Caldwell. Sullivan leave after, vigil return, continue left off the old man C, Hemingway novel Jason. High school study, essay write proud refrigerator display months. But man not made defeat I soft read, Jason hand hold. Man destroy can, not defeat. Fingers mind twitch. I freeze, face intent watch. Imagine had I. After many false alarms, moments think detect movement only disappoint, hope wary too quick. Then eyelids flutter, small grown lips escape. Jason, I whisper, nurse call button press. Jason, here can you? Mom it. Eyes open slow, unfocused confuse. Blink several, gaze gradual my face settle. Mom. Voice barely audible rasp days intubation after. Yes, sweetheart, I confirm, relief tears eyes flood. Here I, hospital you. Unconscious over week. Heather rush in immediate, vital signs pupillary response check. Welcome back, Mr. Caldwell, she professional say, though catch genuine warmth tone. Try talk not much yet. Throat sore breathing tube. Jason eyes room dart, confusion evident. Happen what? He manage, word each effort clear. Car accident you, I gentle explain. Car rode off. Remember anything? Brow furrow concentrate. Driving brakes not work. Speak effort exhaust, eyes drift close again. Enough now, Heather quiet advise. Normal this. Drift and outlast sedation wear off. Each consciousness period longer clearer should. Dr. Hawkins minutes later arrive. Thorough examination conduct Jason doze. Initial responses very encourage, he afterward tell. Pupils equal reactive, appropriate verbal, family recognition. Positive indicators, cognitive recovery all. When fully alert, I ask, Jason hand still hold. Varies patient, they'll explain. But typically, significant improve next 24-48 hours see. Optimistic I, Margaret. Day throughout, Jason wakes several more, each consciousness period slight longer coherent last than. By evening, awake nearly 30 minutes able stay, though speech remain halting memories fragment. Vanessa, he ask one such period, eyes room search. Where she? Dread question this, unsure reveal much fragile state. Bill caution against information much quick overwhelm. Yet, refuse lie son. Jason, I gentle say, something no need Vanessa Scott about, but wait can stronger you until. No, he insist, voice strength gain despite hoarseness. Tell now, please. Gaze meet, determination confusion beneath sea. Son always prefer difficult truths, comforting lies. Arrested they, I simple say. Police evidence find embezzling money Westbrook, tamper car your. Accident not accident. Jason eyes close, pain features cross nothing physical injuries do. Open again, clearer been since wake. New eye, he whisper fraud about. Evidence find. Confront Vanessa night before, he trail off, memory visible distress. No I assure, hand squeeze. Evidence you gather find we, recordings, documentation. How caught they? Question eyes form. How did you long story it, I slight smile. Tell stronger when you. But short version very observant nurse suspicious become Vanessa Scott behavior. Warn me, help overhear conversation them between reveal everything. After that, well, say old mother turn amateur detective. Ghost smile lips touch. Always say psychology detective work another name just. Write that, I agree, encourage old self flash this, understand human behavior, recognize patterns, look. Beyond people's surface show really thinking feeling what. He slight nod, then question anticipate I. Recover completely I will? Dr. Hawkins very optimistic, I truthful tell. Brain swelling resolve well, already good cognitive function show. Physical therapy course, challenges ahead some, but believe substantial recovery make you. Jason information absorb, then surprise faint hand squeeze mine. Thank you here being everything for. Where else be I? I simple reply. Sun my you. As evening night deepen, Jason natural sleep drift, breathing steady unlabored. Remain chair beside bed, unwilling leave even moment. Detective Sullivan stop one last time home head before, coffee sandwich bring me. How doing he? He quiet ask, nod toward Jason's sleep form. Better expected then, I reply. Remembers fragments happened what? New fraud about. Confront Vanessa night before accident. Sullivan nod. Timeline we establish match that. Her text got spike immediate confrontation after, though careful code language use. Not careful enough, I observe. Few criminals are, end in, he agree. Arrogance, panic, simple oversight. Something always trip up them. He study professional admiration, though case this largely due one very determined mother. Did what any parent would, I demur. No, Mrs. Caldwell, did what few courage capability have would. He rise leave. Check tomorrow. DA want schedule formal statement Jason once strong enough. Sullivan depart after, settle back chair, watch gentle rise fall Jason chest. Past 10 days nightmare fear, discovery, danger been. But now, finally, path forward see. Sun recover would. Justice serve be. And somehow rebuild broken what, find way back normal, or perhaps something even stronger before. As finally allow drift toward sleep, one thought crystallize perfect clarity. Rushed hospital first day that, desperate fear sun for, never imagined journey ahead lay. Warning Nurse Jenkins, please hide trust me, change everything, set motion events ultimately save Jason life. Sometimes, I drowsy reflect. Most important moments lives arrive disguise simple choices. Listen, observe, trust, act, and sometimes most underestimate force world exactly what drive me darkest days ordeal this. Quiet, implacable determination mother protect child. Thank you very much for listening. Please leave a comment with a rating from 0 to 10. Subscribe to the channel and share this story with a friend.